The Abbotsford Canucks are moving on in the American Hockey League playoffs after shutting out Coachella Valley 2-0 in Game 4 of their second-round series. Lots to talk about. This is Rink Wide. And we welcome you inside the Rink Wide Studios in downtown Vancouver out in the Fraser Valley. They're celebrating because the Abbotsford Canucks season will play on. Yeah, the Abby Canucks are into round number 3 of the American Hockey League Calder Cup playoffs after a 2-0 shutout victory to dispatch the Coachella Valley Firebirds, top farm team of the Seattle Kraken, 2-time finalists in the Calder Cup playoffs the last couple of years, but their season ends a little earlier than they're used to, while Abby is further in the playoffs than they have ever been in their time out in the Fraser Valley. So congratulations to Manny Malhotra, his coaching staff, and all of the players. Artur Silovs was perfect in this hockey game, and he was good at times. A couple of key stops in the third period, goaltending when they needed it. In fact, both goaltenders were good. It was a 1-0 hockey game until Linus Karlsson sealed the deal into an empty net with 91 seconds to go. I'm Jeff Patterson. I'm flying solo on this Friday. Dave Hall from Canucks Army is on vacation, although he's probably watching the Abbotsford Canucks. I don't know if he's watching Rink Wide. If he is, hi, Dave. And we have enjoyed having him on the program, but I'm going to soldier on here tonight, and this Abbotsford Canucks team has given us plenty of material, so shouldn't be an issue. But if you want in, if you have thoughts, if you've watched along, if you've listened to these games, or if you join us after these games to find out what went on, hey, we're happy to have you. And the YouTube live chat, it's going. We'll dig in there, get some of the thoughts of people as they follow along here on Rink Wide. Rink Wide's a presentation of Bet365, and we'll tell you about our Super Chat charity partner in a sec, but we always mention Bet365. If you want to get in on the action for Stanley Cup playoffs, hey, at Bet365, they've got you. From game props, player props, totals, and the money line. You can even bet on futures like series winners, conference champions, the Stanley Cup champs, and so much more. Whatever your bet, never ordinary at Bet365. Download the app and get in on the game. An official partner of the Stanley Cup playoffs, must be 19 years or older. The Super Chat that I mentioned, if you have a thought, a comment, a question, if you just want to congratulate the Abbotsford Canucks, then make a donation to our Super Chat charity partner, and we'll get your thought or your comment, your question to the top of the queue. Our charity partner all season long, the BC Mental Health Foundation, changing the face of mental health and addiction by supporting breakthroughs in care, public understanding, research, and knowledge exchange. This is a heck of a hockey game. You knew that Coachella Valley was going to play hard. They did. They came out strong as they did in game number 3. Again, took Abbotsford a little while to get going, not 15 minutes like the other night, but it did take them 8 minutes to get their first shot on goal. Coachella Valley hit a post off the rush in the first minute, and there were a couple of posts at play in this hockey game, and so Artur Silovs perhaps a little fortunate, but hey, maybe that's all he gave those Coachella Valley shooters. Again, Artur Silovs, a story here on this night, in this series, and really through this playoff run that's going to extend now into the division final. That's where Abbotsford moves next, another best of 5, yeah? You got to go 5 rounds in the American Hockey League playoffs, and so 2 down into round 3, another best of 5 If they get through the division final into the conference final, then it'll be a best of 7. And of course, the Calder Cup final is a best of 7 as well. Max Sasson with the only goal in the run of play in this hockey game. It came midway through the first period on the power play, and that is significant. And we're showing you the live stream as a Kirill Kudryavtsev shot gets through. Sasson with a nice play to kick the puck up from his skate to his stick in front and deposits it on the backhand. And for Max Sasson, his second goal of the playoffs, Kudryavtsev and Sammy Blais gets the second assist. And Sammy Blais leads all American Hockey League scorers. Doesn't just lead this Abbotsford team in scoring. Sammy Blais is atop the American Hockey League playoff scoring. He's got 8 points now through the 7 games that he has played. And so 9:53 into the first period, right around the midway mark, a power play for Coachella, or a penalty for Coachella Valley, puts Abbotsford on the power play, and it was Max Sasson converting there. The only power play goal on either side in this entire series. So penalty kill was terrific. Abbotsford's penalty kill has been perfect, and that's not hyperbole. 20 times shorthanded in the playoffs, 20 successful penalty kills, plus a shorthanded goal in the opening round against Tucson. So we spent a lot of time focusing on the Vancouver Canucks penalty kill in the second half of the season. It became a real strength of that hockey club. Well, the penalty kill, maybe it's filtered down Highway 1 to the Fraser Valley. Whatever the case, Abbotsford has been lights out good. And obviously, you need goaltending when you're shorthanded. They're getting that. And the guys in front just digging in and getting the job done. So 1-0 Abbotsford after one period of play. Stayed 1-0 through the second and remained 1-0 into the late stages of the third. And then Carlson, as PDG, Phil DiGiuseppe, intercepts the puck in the neutral zone, gets it to Carlson, and his shot from the blue line finds the empty net. 18:29, the time of that goal. And that was it. 2-0. Abbotsford wins the series 3-1. Abbotsford 5-2 now in the playoffs. So playing some terrific hockey and really playing incredible defensive hockey in front of Artur Silov. So some of it's the goaltending, but credit to the guys in front too. And this is an Abbotsford team that's without Christian Wolanin, one of the real veteran presences on the blue line. And they lost Jet Wu down in Palm Desert, and he hasn't played since. And so, asking an awful lot of guys like Guillaume Brisebois and Akito Hiroshi, Victor Mancini, Kirill Kudryavtsev, the rookie, stepping up and doing it at both ends of the ice. My goodness. It's sort of been this next man up mentality all season long for Abbotsford, and we're seeing that again here as they progress through the Calder Cup playoffs. So they take care of Coachella Valley in 4 games. Now, they needed 3 in the opening round against Tucson, and of course, that was a best of 3. So it was truly an elimination game for both teams in game 3. Win or go home, and Abbotsford won, advanced to this series. Coachella Valley was the lower seed, so Abbotsford had the choice to start at home or start on the road and then ensure that they had home ice advantage in the back end of the series. They elected to start on the road. They got the split down in the desert and then took care of business with back-to-back wins on home ice. And so, this series goes 4. And when we talk about injured players, it's not just Wolanin and Wu. Atu Ratu was injured in game 2 of the series. He hasn't played since. And so we don't know yet when the next round is going to start, but I would think that there'll be a little bit of a gap in time here. And by taking care of business tonight, it means that Abbotsford doesn't have to play on Mother's Day Sunday. We don't have to work on Mother's Day Sunday. But the fewer games you have to play in the playoffs, just the less wear and tear, less chance for injury. So this was important to get the job done. And Abbotsford does it in style, in shutout style, as they slam the door on the guys from Coachella Valley. As I look through my notes in this hockey game, we talked about the power play. It was Tristan Nielsen drawing an interference penalty from John Hayden, who Hayden's played in the NHL, has spent a good chunk of his time in the American Hockey League as well. Big body, physical player, usually looking for trouble. And he got tangled up with Nielsen, away from the puck, wouldn't let him go, put the referee in a position of making a call, and he did. And so that put Abbotsford on the power play. And as we said, power plays have not been prominent, but a lot of that was due to penalty killing on both sides here, but the Canucks able to cash in on the power play, the only power play goal of the series, and it's a big one. It stands up as the winner for Max Sasson, who's been one of those players, and I thought Sasson was probably the best skater for the Canucks in the opening round against Tucson. Not as prominent in this series, certainly 5-on-5, but give the Canucks an inch and they take a mile here as they score on the power play, so good on them. When I talked about a few posts, there was the one early in the hockey game, and Cale Fleury, back in this Coachella Valley lineup, defenseman that certainly brings some offense to the game, and he had a shot in the second period that beat Silovs, but rang it off the post, and so again, another close call for the Firebirds, but alas, nothing doing there. When we talk about the fact there was no scoring in the second period, I thought Coachella Valley carried the play for probably the first 10 minutes, had the better chances. And with about 5 minutes to go, Abbotsford really cranked things up. Max Sasson set up in front by Arshdeep Bains, a terrific play on the end boards. Bains gets the puck in front, Sasson there with a chance. And Jonathan Lekkerimäki got his stick on the rebound, but couldn't quite convert. And so that was a close call. And then the final shift of the second period, it was Bains and Sasson again, but this time Linus Karlsson had stayed out on an extended shift. So three veteran guys, three guys that all played for the Vancouver Canucks at times this season, really asserted themselves on the final shift of the second period. Good stuff. And again, close call, but nothing doing. And so that, again, heightened the drama of going to the third in a 1-0 hockey game. Abbotsford had some chances early in the third. Phil DiGiuseppe was in front, set up by Linus Karlsson. Nico Kikoko made one of his best saves there. Tristan Nielsen alone in the slot, and he fired it wide, and it's that fine line of trying to pick a corner as opposed to getting a puck on net and making a goaltender make a save, and Nielsen whistled it just wide. And this is a big build-up to what turned out to be the save of this game and really the save of this series for Artur Silovs in a 1-0 hockey game. Now, Silovs was a little bit the author of his own undoing here. We're going to show the highlight. Silovs sort of swung at the puck as it went wide of the net and got tangled up at the side of the goal, puck off the end boards. Firebirds toot on the forecheck, sent in front for Ian McKinnon all alone, like wide open. If you're watching the live stream, you're seeing the highlight. If you're listening to the podcast, wide open. I'll try and do it as much justice as I can there. And Artur Silovs able to get back in front, in position, made himself as big as he could, and he made the stop point blank. And you kind of got the feeling that was that one save, that Coachella Valley was going to generate some chances in a 1-0 game. There was that one moment in time, and that to me was the one shining moment for Artur Silovs. There were more than one shining moment, but that was his big moment. That was the save of the game. And from there, Jujhar Khaira took a tripping penalty with 9 minutes to play. Coachella Valley poured it on. They had some opportunities. There was a wild scramble with about 4 minutes remaining. The puck somehow stayed out, and then CV pulled its goaltender with 2 minutes and 40 seconds to play. And eventually, that's where the Canucks were able to cash in and seal the deal, win it by a score of 2-0. The final shot's 29-24, so a 29-save shutout for Artur Silovs. And again, let's give Nico Kikoko his fair share of credit as well. Turned out to be probably the best Coachella player in this series. Coachella Valley scored 7 goals in 4 games. 5 of them came in that Game 2 overtime victory. So the other games, a 3-1 loss, and tonight it was a 2-0 final score. And, a goaltender can't do it on his own. Needed some offensive support and only got it in Game 2 on home ice. All right, checking in some of the comments in the live stream. Stephen Smith says, "Hey, Jeff, watching all the way from Phoenix. Johnny Spinks, Blaze should be on an NHL contract next year. He's dominant out there." Nar says, "Arty party," and then 3 emojis of like the celebration. Hugo says, "Lekkerimäki still looks a bit timid." I do want to get around to Jonathan Lekkerimäki in this series and on this night. Johnny says, "Thanks for doing this, Rink Wide Van. I've been a fan for years, grinder of the media world, and always kept the Canucks content coming. Got to go to bed. Go Abbotsford." Hey, Johnny, thanks for hanging in there with us. And to everybody that's watching us on the live stream or anybody that checks us out after the fact on the podcast. We're having fun doing this, and we're going to keep on going. And 7 games into the AHL playoffs, and another best of 5 coming up. So we're guaranteed to get double digits of shows, and let's hope that there are certainly more than just 10 on the docket this year, and that Abbotsford can continue to march along on these in these Calder Cup playoffs. We'll talk more about their next opponent. Again, we don't know the dates yet, so still digesting this win. A good win for the Abbotsford Canucks. And look, I want to take a moment here. We'll do the 3 stars. The 3 stars are a presentation of Greta Bar, YVR, all of those big screens. There's not a bad seat in the house. You've got the arcade games. You can order off the terrific new street food menu, weekly drink specials, and a shout out to Greta. They were terrific partners for our Canucks Army watch parties. I don't know if the Abbotsford Canucks get going, we may have to fire up the idea of Canucks Army watch parties again, but nothing doing on that front right now. But Greta Bar, the place to be, 50 West Cordova. Greta Bar, let the games begin. The 3 stars in the building, Artur Silovs, Max Sasson, and Nikkei Coco, and it's almost like they stole our thoughts here at Rink Wide Vancouver, because our 3 stars as well. Artur Silovs, the 29 save shutout. Something about these elimination games. We'll touch on that in a moment. Max Sasson gets the game winner, had the 3 shots on goal. Again, the pressure that he had the chance late in the second, and the pressure with Baines and Carlson. And yeah, tip of the cap in a losing cause to Nikkei Coco, a guy that got up into the National Hockey League with the Seattle Kraken, still rocking the Kraken pads with the tentacles on them, even though he plays for the Coachella Valley Firebirds. You got to do what you got to do. You got to be comfortable in your gear. And so a little mix there. And we know that he wants to be in the NHL, but in the AHL right now, but put up the kind of performance that's going to get some attention, certainly within the Seattle organization and maybe around the hockey world. Coco was good. Just turned out that he was the second best goaltender in this series. So Artur Silovs, Max Sasson, Nikkei Coco are the 3 stars here on Rink Wide. I called it Rink Wide Vancouver earlier. Old habits die hard. It's just Rink Wide, the Abbotsford playoff edition. But let's roll right into the stat that stands out, because there's a correlation with all of this Artur Silovs talk. I mean, this is something that in both elimination games here, both series clinchers at the very least, Artur Silovs has pitched a shutout. Blank Tucson 5-zip in the first round, and here it's a 2-0 shutout win. And it's kind of funny, if you go back to last year's NHL playoffs, Game 6 in Nashville, also a shutout. Now, Game 7 against the Oilers wasn't a shutout. But when the Canucks have advanced, either at the NHL or American Hockey League level, it's been on the back of an Artur Silovs shutout. So this sort of Artur Silovs redemption arc continues. It was a tough go at the NHL level. We all know that. But this is a guy that wants to prove that he still belongs, that there is upside, that he's still developing and growing as a goaltender. And hard to argue with his playoff performances. Yeah, he got the hook the other night, but I think that kind of adds to the legend, if you will, of Artur Silovs here in these playoffs, is that showed resiliency, shook it off, got the nod to start the other night, was good then, and was even better here. And so congrats to Artur Silovs. The stat that stands out, Artur Silovs picking up a shutout in both series-clinching games so far in these playoffs. Our stat that stands out is brought to you by Resurrection Spirits, and we tell you all the time now about bogey juice, and it'll be a while still before the Abbotsford Canucks hit the links. They're playing hockey. Their hockey season continues. It's not time for golf for them, but if you're getting out there and thinking of playing golf this weekend, again, keep bogey juice in mind. It's crafted with a tantalizing blend of crisp apple flavoring and kickin' ginger for that refreshing zing. Every shot of bogey juice, like a hole-in-one for your taste buds. Sweetened to perfection with simple syrup and made even smoother with top-shelf vodka. It's the only juice that's guaranteed to make your golf buddies beam with envy despite the score it refers to. Check out bogeyjuice.com for more info and use promo code SP15 for 15% off Bogey Juice product and merch. And look at that over my left shoulder there. You can see we got a bottle of the good stuff here in studio. All right, we're getting word now that the schedule is already out for round number 3. And as the higher seed, the Colorado Eagles, who won the Pacific Division, they've elected to start on the road and finish at home. So that means that the Abbotsford Canucks can sleep in their own beds. They're not going anywhere for a while. Game 1 of the next round, a week from tonight, May 16th, Friday, May 16th, with Game 2 on Sunday, May the 18th, out in Abbotsford. So Friday and Sunday, and then the series shifts to Colorado for games Wednesday, Friday, and the following Monday. And part of that is because the arena that the Colorado Eagles play in is booked solid with all sorts of high school and junior college graduations. Yeah, it's that time of year. And so they found, I guess, enough of a window there to get 3 home dates. But their arena, Blue Arena, it's called. It's a busy place. But they will play those games Wednesday for sure, Wednesday the 21st, Friday the 23rd, and Monday the 26th, if necessary. So there you go. The schedule is out. Start the planning. We'll get a little bit of a reprieve here at Rink Wide, but we'll be back next Friday night ready to go with Game 1 between Abbotsford and the Colorado Eagles. All right. Want to get to a couple of super chats. So it's great that we're getting people that are filling up the inbox here. Super chat from Viper's Whip, who says thanks. Is that all he said, Jacob? Just thanks?
Yep, just okay. Thanks. Just thanked us.
All right. Hey, Viper's Whip, thank you right back. We're having fun doing this. Hopefully we continue to build the audience as people, if they haven't been in on the first couple of rounds, there's a third round here to go for the Abbotsford Canucks. So appreciate that. And where's our other super chat?
It was just from T, and there was no comment. Just a $20 donation to the BC Mental Health
Beautiful.
Foundation.
Well, T, thank you for that. Quinn says, great experience for our young guys. Abby building a winning culture. Hope it transfers to the big club. Obviously, you're hoping that, and you're hoping that some of these young guys are gaining this experience that they can apply at the NHL level as early as next season. Now is the time to maybe get into some Jonathan Lecker-Mackey talk, perhaps, because it was nice to see Max Sasson score a big goal in a big moment. Again, I liked what I saw from him in the first round. I thought he had been relatively quiet here in round number 2. And look, this is the Abbotsford Canucks. They don't care who scores for them. Yes, they're in the business of developing players, but they're in the playoffs right now, and it's all about winning. So, much of this series success has been on the back of Sammy Blais. It's been Guillaume Brisebois. It has been Nate Smith. Jujhar Khaira had the big game, even in a losing cause, but had a couple of goals and an assist, got in the scrap down in Palm Desert. You want to see Jonathan Lecker-Mackey feature and be a star. Now, he missed 3 games. He came back the other night, had an assist, but there wasn't a whole lot in his game then. And quite frankly, I thought it took the better part of 2 periods to even notice Jonathan Lecker-Mackey in this hockey game. I'm just looking at the box score. No points, 1 shot on goal, and he's playing on a line with Max Sasson and Archdeep Bains at 5-on-5. Like, that is a line that should be able to control play and make things happen. And so, look, they won. It's been a good news story. I don't want to spend too much time, and I don't want to sound like I'm dumping on Lecker-Mackey, but there are some expectations. An NHL first rounder, you want to see him do more. I've said all along, if you've been a regular watcher here in the playoffs, I'm expecting more from Archdeep Bains. He's got 4 points through 7 games. He led Abbotsford in scoring in the regular season. 2 primary assists, 2 secondary assists, no goals. Now, there were moments tonight. There were moments. It's not all bad, but I have some expectations. It's Archdeep Bains, a guy that's played in the National Hockey League in each of the last 2 seasons. If Abbotsford's going to get through Colorado and get to the conference final, I don't think that we can do a whole lot more rink wides after these games without mentioning that Archdeep Bains has figured in the scoring, has been a productive player here. Sammy Blais had a terrific playoff run. Phil Di Giuseppe, again, you just talk about a quality veteran, low maintenance guy that goes out, competes, plays hard, and he's finding a way to produce. Phil Giuseppe, basically a point per game guy here in the playoffs. So good on him. But, I'd like to see a little bit more from some of those players, and certainly Jonathan Lekkerimäki is one of them. But Kirill Kudryavtsev getting his first taste of professional hockey playoffs and scored the other night, gets the primary assist on the game winner tonight, a 7th-round draft pick. Like, this guy's found money and is only going to grow and be better for these experiences. And as I said, honestly, Guillaume Brisebois, when you think of the concussion issues not that long ago, you wondered if he was going to be able to continue his hockey journey and his path here. I know this isn't the NHL, but this guy's a star at this level. And sure, you can make the Brisebois jokes and whatever. This is no laughing matter. Like, at this level, Guillaume Brisebois just shows up, plays hard, and is so damn effective. And so good on him. And I hope that he's enjoying this run. I don't know where things go from here for Guillaume Brisebois, like in terms of, his future with this organization or another opportunity to play in the National Hockey League. But I hope he's enjoying this playoff run because he's playing a ton. He plays in all the high leverage situations defensively, the penalty kill late in the game. And he's just been really, really good for the Abbotsford Canucks. So I just want to take a shout there. And I thought Akito Hirose has had the last couple of games. He's been really good for them as well. And again, we'll see what this time off now. They don't play for a week. I don't know the extent of the injuries to guys like Christian Wolanin and Jet Wu and Atu Ratu. All Manny Malhotra would say the other night was day-to-day. And he kind of said it with a smirk. It's that time of the year. So injury updates are tough, but hopefully with a week between games now, they get some or all of those guys back. They get those guys back. Like, this team is stacked at this level. And so you're seeing that here through the playoffs. And again, you can't say enough good things about the job that Manny Malhotra has done all season long and just the success of this team now. Had that great run down the stretch. And you wanted to believe that that was going to mean something. And now to get to the third round, I think it's safe to say that, yeah, it has. Like, if they get eliminated by Tucson as the higher seed in the opening round, then that run down the stretch means nothing. And that's a massive disappointment. But they dispatched Tucson and they've taken care of Coachella Valley. And here they are now getting ready for the only team that finished ahead of them in the Pacific Division. And at that, 2 points ahead, actually, Abbotsford had more wins than Colorado did. But Colorado finished with 2 more points, and by virtue of those 2 more points, they are the top seed, but not much to pick really between those two teams. So look, as I just looked through some of the final numbers here, we told you the final shots on goal, 29-24 in Coachella Valley's favor. Artur Silovs, who didn't have a shutout in the American Hockey League this season, now has 2 in the playoffs. So coming through when the chips are down and getting the job done. And the way that he's playing right now, you got to kind of think that Abbotsford's going to have an edge in goal as they go up against the division leaders in the Colorado Eagles. Colorado's playoffs, they had a bye in the first round, so they didn't have to play for a week or so. Then they took care of San Jose in 4 games. And now they're going to sit around and wait until next Friday to get up and running again. So certainly a staggered start out to these playoffs for the Colorado Eagles. And look, maybe Abbotsford can take some advantage there, although it's going to be a week off as well for Abbotsford before they suit up and play once again. 6,502. The announced attendance out in Abbotsford. So not quite a sellout, but not far off. Not a lot of seats to be had in the Abbotsford Center. So shout out to the people of Fraser Valley getting out Friday night, supporting this team. And they're worth it with the run that they had late in the season. Hopefully they've earned people's trust and their money as well. And they're going to have a week now to sell tickets. And it just looked like a great atmosphere when Carlson scored into an empty net. And then as they counted things down to the final buzzer, people on their feet, the towels were waving. It looked like a ton of fun. And we're having fun talking about them, but we have to do this show here from the studio. So can't get out to Abby to be there in person But it looks like it would be a lot of fun if people were there in the building, and I hope that the crowds only go up from here. But again, 6,502 for this elimination game. That's a nice number. So good on the people that got out to support the Abbotsford Canucks as they take care of Coachella Valley 2-0 in game number 4 to eliminate them 3 wins to 1. Want to take a moment to tell you about our friends at the Pacific Toyota dealers. And we mentioned the Toyota BZ4X, 100% electric. It's backed by the peace of mind of knowing it's a Toyota and that spark of joy you get when you pass a gas station knowing that you don't have to stop. Imagine driving a BZ4X out to Abbotsford to take in some playoff hockey. You can the added perk of being able to use the HOV lane when you're driving an EV, even if you're alone in the vehicle. All the cargo capacity you could look for. Whatever you can think of, there's room for it. Well, I don't know how big you think, but trust me, there's a lot of cargo capacity in the BZ4X, and it can handle any terrain, so it can take you from the city to the slopes or wherever your life takes you. And when you choose the BZ4X, you can get a $5,000 incentive, and now you can finance a 2025 BZ4X LE all-wheel drive from 0.99% APR for 36 months. Visit shoptoyota.ca or your local Pacific Toyota dealer today. The updated playoff scoring now, Sammy Blais leading all Abbotsford Canucks. He's got 8 points. All 3 of his goals came in the opening round. All 3 of his goals coming on the power play as well, but he's chipped in with 5 helpers, including 1 on the Max Sasson goal. So Sammy Blais up to 8 points. And Phil Giuseppe at last check, he's up to 6 points. So he's having a nice run. We talked about Linus Karlsson. I know it's an empty netter, but it was an important one to snuff out any life for Coachella Valley. Karlsson had a couple of goals in the first round, and so he's up to 3 goals now here in the playoffs. I thought he had a strong game, though. A presence down low. We used to hear that about him from Rick Tocchet in the times he got up in the National Hockey League. The Canucks liked his wall work, his stickiness, and then we saw that he had sort of developed a penchant to go to the front of the net, find a way to stay at the front of the net, to screen goaltenders. I have noticed him doing those types of things through these playoffs as well. So, another guy that, you'd like the numbers to be a little bit better, but I've tried to sort of put the positive spin in that they're winning hockey games, and now they get to hit reset, and it's a new series, a new opponent, and a new opportunity for guys like Karlsson to reestablish themselves, and for Arshdeep Bains to just be a little more prominent, Lekkerimäki to find his scoring touch as well. As we take a look ahead, and I do want to take a moment here to take a look ahead, it is Colorado. As we mentioned, they finished first in the Pacific Division, so that's going to be the challenge. But as we also said, there's not a ton to choose between Abbotsford and Colorado. Colorado was 43-21-8 in the regular season. That was 3rd in the overall standings in the American Hockey League. They are led by 35-year-old Jason Magna. Yes, that Jason Magna that once played for Willie Desjardins and the Vancouver Canucks. A couple of seasons, in fact, with the Vancouver Canucks. Jason Magna, now 35, still going strong. Had a nice opening round of his playoffs. He got 6 points. Matthew Phillips, a guy that put up huge numbers with the Victoria Royals, was drafted by the Calgary Flames, played for Washington as well. Matthew Phillips, now in the Colorado organization. Calle Rosen, guy that played in the National Hockey League as well. Ivan, one of the great names in the game, and spent some time with the Colorado Avalanche. And when we talk about familiar names, Trent Miner, former Vancouver Giant, is their goaltender. So your goaltending matchup is Artur Silovs and Trent Miner. And Trent Miner, of course, no stranger to these parts and playing at the Langley Event Center. Now it's just a little further along the highway. So, those are some of the names that you're going to hear about, that we're going to be talking about. Just get a kick out of the fact that a guy like Jason Magna, who, represents a lot of that era of Vancouver Canuck hockey, and people used to get upset that Jason Magna was playing higher in the lineup than he ought to have, but that's not his fault. This guy was just trying to carve-out games in the NHL. It spoke to how little the Vancouver Canucks had on their roster when Jason Magna and Michael Chaput were getting regular opportunities. So, Jason Magna coming back, different time. He spent a little bit of time in Utica in the Canucks organization, but not in Abbotsford. So this will be a little bit new experience for him. I can't imagine that he's got anything to prove or show the Vancouver Canucks at this stage, other than he wants to help his Colorado Eagles to the next round of these American Hockey League playoffs. So, yeah, that's what the Abbotsford Canucks are looking for. A week off now, hopefully to rest up and heal up. Power play scores for the 5th time in these playoffs. And as we said, the penalty kill is off the charts good. And let's hope that they can carry that over into the next round. If there's a concern with this Abbotsford team, I suppose it's 5-on-5 scoring. And through 7 games of the playoffs, and there were no 5-on-5 goals, there was a power play goal and an empty netter. But they've outscored their opponents 13-12 in the playoffs. And of course, they've been the higher seed in both of those. And so 5-on-5, not a particular edge for the Abbotsford Canucks. Now, playoff hockey, you don't really care ultimately how the goals are scored. You just want more goals than the other guys on a given night. And Abbotsford's done a nice job of that. But, if there's an area that they can tidy things up, it's finding a way to generate a little more 5-on-5. And, they've done a pretty good job because they haven't given up many goals at all. Just 7 in the 4 games against Coachella Valley. So it's not the 5-on-5 goals that they're giving up. It's the lack of 5-on-5 goals. And that's room for improvement. But again, new series, new opportunity, more chances when the next series starts next Friday night. As the Abbotsford Canucks play on, the professional baseball team in town continues to play on as well. Vancouver Canadians, they're out on the road right now, but they're back for a homestand at the Nat starting on Tuesday, May the 13th, for a 6-game set with Everett. Homestand includes a nooner at the Nat on Friday the 16th, Saturday the 17th. The Seas are hosting Women in Sport Day, a special guest appearance by Sportsnet's Hazel May. And then you can check out the Family Fun Sunday, the White Spot Family Fun Sunday, on May 18th. Bring the kids. They can run the bases post-game. Always a fun day on a Sunday afternoon. For the full schedule and for tickets, check out CanadiansBaseball.com. All right. The Abbotsford Canucks are still alive. Yeah, they're moving on. Moving on to round number 3 of the American Hockey League playoffs. It takes 5 rounds to win the Calder Cup. And so 2 rounds down, now on to the division final. Then it would be the conference and then the Calder Cup. But they're not quite halfway there, but they're off to a fine start, and they are further deeper in the American Hockey League playoffs than an Abbotsford team has ever been before. So uncharted territory, but a team that is certainly feeling it and has played some terrific hockey over the last bunch of months. Max Sasson with his second on the power play midway through the first period, and Linus Karlsson his third of the playoffs into the empty net with 90 seconds to go. Those are the goal scorers, and Artur Silovs makes 29 saves. So they come back home from Palm Desert, and Artur Silovs gives up 1 goal in 2 games. Hard to argue with that kind of net minding, and we'll see if he can stay on a roll here as they get things fired up against the Colorado Eagles 1 week from now. All right, that is going to do it for us. Again, we're already looking forward to our next episode, but we're all going to have to wait. So rest up, enjoy some time, and make sure you're back with us next Friday after Game 1 of the Pacific Division Final. It's a best of 5, so another sprint here, and it puts the premium on the opener. And, of course, this is the first time that Abbotsford's going to open a series on home ice, but and that's not true. The first round, I suppose they played all the games at home. That was truly home ice advantage, but Abbotsford's done a nice job of taking the openers in the first 2 series, so we'll see if that trend continues as they get back at it next Friday night. But congrats to everybody in the Canuck organization. This is a team worth getting behind, and we're certainly doing that here at Rink Wide, and it looks like the fan support there in the Fraser Valley as well. So, 2-0. Abbotsford punches its ticket in style with the 2-0 win over the Coachella Valley Firebirds. That is going to do it for this episode of Rink Wide, the playoff edition.